there was MTG booty, and I was pretty happy about that. But anyway.
Yeah, there's a Cowboy Bebop thing. They're doing a Cowboy Bebop thing. Magic. We're talking about MTG is Magic the Gathering, right?
Yes.
Doing Cowboy Bebop Magic.
Okay, well, it's not Cowboy Bebop. It's just Cowboys. BK Duke Prime. However, there was a little...
MTG Japan, whatever the Magic the Gathering thing in Japan, made like a full Cowboy Bebop intro with the characters from the card set. Yeah.
That's dope as hell. I didn't even see that. I have to look at it. I was looking at all the but
I saw it on TikTok. I didn't see it on Twitter, but yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I was gonna rant about the fact that Keanu Reeves is voicing Shadow the Hedgehog, and Shadow the Hedgehog uses guns, and Shadow the Hedgehog was taught that there's more to life than killing by an innocent soul, which was later removed from his life, returning him to the endless cycle of violence, and therefore Shadow the Hedgehog is John Wick.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse. The fact that Keanu Reeves is like voicing John Wick again, or I know more lore about Sonichu and like the whole Chris Chan saga than I do actual Sonic the Hedgehog.
You want to hear some fucked up Sonic the Hedgehog lore?
Sure.
Every single time Shadow the Hedgehog is introduced, every single time, no matter, like, there are various realities, there are various continuities, every single time he is made to be a weapon. He is befriended by Robotnik's daughter, Maria Robotnik, and then Maria Robotnik dies. And that is what sets him like on the path to kill Robotnik, basically, is revenge for his friend who is Robotnik's daughter.
She's his Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Yep. Everything he does it for her.
Huh. Sucks
I don't know what
she
to
had
do with
get
this.
fringed, though.
Yeah. 100%. Every single time, too. That which also maybe implies that the Sonic, like in the Sonic multiverse, Maria Robotnik dying is like a canon event.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Across the Spider-Verse. It's fucked up, man.
That's really fucked up, Will.
It is fucked up. Also,
I mean, to be fair, he didn't do it. It was just relaying it.
No, yeah, it's true.
I still blame him. I mean, I blame Will for a lot of things.
That is an interesting question, Brendan. I don't know that. I don't know if she is Maria Eggman in Japan. Probably.
We are learning things tonight.
I think. I'm trying to think if there's any other fucked up Sonic lore that I could talk about, but it's not coming to me immediately.
Apparently, Sonic the Hedgehog and his humble origins, because I got this from the Brian David Gilbert video, is originally from like Oklahoma and was like part of a family of like little hedgehogs living outside like a fast food restaurant. And then they decided Stoners? Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah. Sonic.
Probably lived outside of a fast food franchise, Sonic. But who can say?
Who can say?
Honestly. One of my favorite things is that he does love chili dogs. Also, in the animated series, canonically, they nerf him. They like stop him from being super fast by swapping his shoes out for shoes that are too tight. If his shoes are too tight and they don't fit correctly, he can't run fast.
I mean, that makes sense, but that's also fucked up.
I mean, if you can run fast, you can still run fast in shoes that don't fit well. It's just harder. And maybe it would be harder if they were bigger, but they made the shoes tighter. Like, I feel like you run the risk of the shoes flying off if they're too loose, but if they're tighter, I feel like you could still run, especially if your life was in danger.
I don't know. But blood flow.
Yeah, sure.
Balance.
Finish your blood flow at some point.
Fun Sonic fact: Sonic doesn't have blood.
I don't know if I believe you or not.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, no, it's true. Look it up.
Who's going to Google it?
I mean, don't.
Does Sonic have blood?
I will also say one of my favorite jokes about one of my favorite in-jokes from Sonic is that Tails' real name, because Tails is a nickname, is Miles per hour, which is miles per hour. It's very good.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's one of my faves. He's one of my absolute faves.
Mm-hmm.
You Google, does Sonic the Hedgehog have blood? The first result is a game facts, game FAQs. Think we'll ever see blood in a Sonic game? For Sonic colors. And then Sonic Wiki Zone, Sonic blood color. Oh.
For me, the first result was in Sonic Riders, the first CG scene for the hero story where Sonic falls off the board and lands on his face. You can see some blood on the floor. And then the next, that's the part that's highlighted. But then there's also Sonic Unleashed when Dark Gaia poops out more arms.
Yeah.
That was an interesting phrase. Sorry.
It's
Will,
interesting.
why did you just say
sorry?
yes? I'm sorry, Will. Why did you just say that? That is a well-known fact.
It is. Did you not know that? Did you not know about the extra arms? It's interesting, though, that's what came up when you Googled it, because when Raph Googled it, the first thing that came up were pictures of Sonic's feet. Crazy.
What the fuck is happening? I'm not on weed right now. I'm sober. What the fuck is happening?
I guess that's a running bit from other games on the channel.
Mm-hmm. It's
I guess
true.
we haven't talked about the feet thing with Raph on the Season of Secrets and Shadows.
No.
I mean, we did on the other stream because it was relevant for the other stream.
Incredible.
I don't think Astrid has feet.
I'm picturing little hooves.
Yeah, just fucking grip it and rip it, baby.
Astrid's never had feet.
Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah,
That's
dude. Crack
strange.
one for the big boy.
Then how do they run? Just on
Thank you for the donation, Brendan. We are now at 1,069. Can we get a nice in chat?
Nice.
Remember, so JD, do you remember when you were like, wow, this is so much more hinged than the other table?
I seem to recall when I said that 5 whole minutes ago, 10 whole minutes ago. I don't know what time it is.
I'm sorry. I'm just waiting for the rum to kick in.
That's the move. It's Friday night. Friday night here on twitch.tv.
Especially Friday nights when we do a Season of Secrets and Shadows.
It's true.
Which I guess means let's start to dive in, and let's see if I can remember how to word, because incidentally, this is the third stream I'm running this week, which was a great life decision on my part. So we're going to see if I remember what the intro is for Live from the Apocalypse. Hi, we are Live from the Apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for aid organizations and good causes. Currently, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders to support the work that they are doing in Gaza and in other locations that are experiencing atrocities currently. We ask that rather than subscribe, give us bits, use any of that cryptocurrency, you put whatever you would have given to us through those subscriptions, and instead put that directly to Doctors Without Borders. You can find the link to that where you would normally find the subscribe button, which we have hidden. You can also find it by typing !donate in chat at any point if you are on mobile. If you do that, as you might have seen earlier, the McElroy brothers will yell, specifically at Will, so please make sure you do it at a particularly emotional moment that Abigail is having, so you can completely derail him and throw him off. You can find the subscribe button. We cannot remove it. We have tried. Will, especially, has desperately tried. I know this to be true. If you find it and you choose to, for instance, throw an Amazon Prime sub at us or something like that, just be forewarned that beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog for every month you have been subscribed. And you don't need to do that. That's not a good thing to do. So rather than doing that, just donate directly. I think that's all the housekeeping I have to do. There's also channel points. Always a lovely reminder, just in case anyone's forgotten, and I'm sure Will tell me when this comes through, because I'm sure some people might want to do this. we have the option to redeem good stuff, and we have the option to redeem bad stuff. Means fun things happen. Either I give the cast a treat, or I make their lives harder than they're already making their lives for themselves. Everybody wins. This cast is very good at making their life harder. At one point, I believe 3 bad things were redeemed, and I don't think I actually used a single one of them because the cast did so many horrible things to themselves and each other that I could not add to the mix. So, we'll see how that shakes out. They do not stack. I'm not that mean. I'm not going to hold on to that from session to session, but feel free to throw some of that in if you have enough channel points. This is a season of Secrets and Shadows, a 3rd season of Secrets and Shadows, our Regency-flavored Monsterhearts game. And this, as Will has determined, is table 1, though there is debate because they are the second table to go. So if you've seen any confusing numbers getting thrown around, that's on me. And I own that, and that's fine.
Table 1 is a mindset, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, because then we can do this. We're table 1.
But then there's 2 fingers. Doesn't that make it table 2? That's like the Roman numeral 2.
Table 1 twice.
Yeah.
That is a way to math.
Technically, we're table 2 for the 3rd time, but I only have 2 fingers. I only have 2 hands. Shut up.
And so I think with that, we are having an absolutely hinged time, and I'm sure that will continue as the night goes on. I'm going to have the cast go around, tell you who they are playing, and their character's current playbook, which we are playing honestly fast and loose with for a number of them, because they have interesting backstories and subsequently interesting powers. But starting with you, Amber, you are up first.
Oh my god, it's been so long since I've been on a stream that I forgot how to do an intro. Sorry, I also turned on Casey Musgraves to get into the mood, and I totally, okay, anyway, hi everybody, my name is Amber, also known as The Space Jamber. I am a 3-time Emmy-nominated TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, and streamer. Tonight I will be playing Astrid Primer, who is still the Holdra, did not change my my playbook, but I did find out the last season I have a secret sister, and I've been a member of the Fae the whole time. Wow. Crazy. Those are definitely some secrets, and those are definitely some shadows. So I'm excited to get more secreter and more shadowier. So
honestly, I love that for Astrid so much. And speaking of secrets and shadows, Will, you are up next.
I forgot if you were going alphabetical or in order on the screen. I had a moment of panic. It's good news. The fucking ice cream truck is back because it's warm now, and it moved on just as I was unmuting. So that's good because I forgot to close my window. Hi, everyone. My name is Will. I'm one of the organizers and the storytellers here live from the apocalypse. We have a whole bunch of things that we'll talk about more at the end. But tonight, as always, I will be playing the best worst girl, Miss Abigail Donatelli, the Devil Playbook. And it's been an interesting time for Abigail, but we'll get into that more later.
I mean, I think Abigail's been having a normal one. I don't think anything horrible has happened with her. I think everything's fine.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff.
Maybe some more good stuff tonight. We'll see what happens if you move the seneschal.
Sure will.
And now we have a new addition, not to LFTA, because they've been here before, but to this particular stream. Chrissy, welcome.
That didn't work. Hold on, that just made Chrissy go away. One sec.
You made
things
you
are
made
broken.
her an actual ghost.
It's fine. Things are fine.
Yes, hi, I'm Chrissy. Chrissy in color. I use she, they pronouns, and tonight I'm playing Morgan, who's she, her pronouns. And Morgan is, as JD just so hinted, a ghost, and using the ghost playbook. And I am so very excited to be here. And cause a little trouble.
We love that for you.
And
I cannot wait to see what happens. All right, and last but not least, Q.
Hi, I'm Q. Amber, you should play Slow Burn for Dorian Astrid Realness, truly. And I'm playing Mr. Dorian Black, who is the Angel playbook. Though, if that's what you can really call him, who's to say? I guess we'll find out. I don't think there's a playbook for God Slayers, so.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe we'll make one. And hello, I am JD. I am one of the organizers, storytellers, and players over with Live from the Apocalypse. And tonight I will be playing everyone else, and as in the case with Monsterhearts, that will partially depend on our characters and where they choose to go, and those they choose to interact with. So we'll see if you get to be the first table to meet Seneschal Nyx. There seems to be a lot of thirst for her already, and I don't know why, but we'll see. She may have been a gift.
You don't know why. Psh, she.
I was waiting for you to say it, Q. I was waiting for you to say, lie to God, not to me, but you killed God, so never mind.
Exactly.
All right, I think with that, I think we're going to jump right in. And where we're going to start tonight is not anywhere we've started before. We open on a scene that would have been expected at the outset of the season many months ago, but it feels quite unexpected now in light of the events that have transpired since this season started. This hasn't been a season for parties and celebrations and dances. This has been a season with the conflict of war rising in the background, with tension between the supernatural community and the world around them, where reality has started bleeding in places with other realms coming into focus in a way that they shouldn't, with doors opening to locations where there should not be doors. But where we start is in a ballroom. A beautiful, spacious ballroom with polished mahogany floors. It's bright and gleaming. The chandeliers above are all lit. The sconces on the wall are in good repair, and everything is bright and colorful and filled with music and laughter. We see dancers with filled dance cards, matching with a variety of partners, leaning into each other in moments that are too public to be private but still hold a layer of intimacy. And this is a joyous time. It's a time of longing and lingering glances, of eagerness to see what the future holds. And it's also a time of strategizing, of political movement, of finding the most advantageous partners and marriages. But despite that undercurrent, there is an air of excitement and hope as the opening ball to this season unfolds. Which season? Well, we're not quite sure on that. But we follow a young woman in the crowd we see her dance with a variety of partners, and her dance card is remarkably full. Chrissy, what do we see when we look at Morgan?
Morgan Fairbrook at this point is had absolutely full of life and joy. She is tall. She is absolutely regal. She has long brown hair that was put up, is kind of falling out in bits and places because she has in fact been dancing a good chunk of the night away. She has lively blue eyes that like will absolutely melt the soul of anyone who looks at them. And she has all of the charm she possibly can on. She's in a lavender gown that has hints of silver traced into it. And she just glows.
And I imagine that all night you have felt eyes on you, that you have noticed longing glances from some of those you have shared a dance or even maybe two with, if you allowed that. You have seen others who dared not approach you, but could not help but be swept up in your spell. And we watch. We watch as your shoes move across the floor. And we notice just for a moment some vague markings beneath your feet, remnants of chalk on your shoes, which isn't unusual. Chalk drawings on the floors of ballrooms are frequent, though the design is often disrupted fairly early on into the night. But we see those traces of color, of whites and grays and blacks and reds, though it's impossible to tell what that image once was. And really, it doesn't matter, because what matters is that this is the perfect spring evening as we follow you out onto the balcony. The air is just starting to cool. It's that perfect offset from the warmth of the accumulated bodies inside the ballroom. There's the smell of night blooming flowers, and we can still hear that soft laughter and muted voices and the strains of music coming from inside as the dance continues. And then there's movement from the side. And our gaze moves over to the figure who steps forward towards the young woman standing on the balcony. A match is struck with the smell of sulfur, and it reflects in the dark glass that obscures the figure's eyes. And that is where we fade to black. Though in that darkness, you hear the sound of a scream, and we see the splatter of blood. But I wouldn't worry too much about that, because we're in London. There are some dances happening, but very few of them. But most notably, we are not in spring, we are in autumn, heading rapidly into winter. So, wherever and whenever this was doesn't really concern us right now. What does concern us is what is happening at, I don't know whether we call it, what do we call your residence, Astrid, at this time?
Q, what did you call the house? Because I don't think Astrid would have changed what it was called.
Um, you know, I don't think we ever got around to it.
No, because
I
it was bullshit.
believe, yeah, truly. Also, I believe it was going to be one of those, we'll decide on our home together.
Mm-hmm.
Suggestion.
Yeah.
Salvation.
I mean, pretty great.
Yeah. I think Astrid has been doing their very best to keep the House of Salvation up, while containing the mess that they've created, to try to locate everything, or locate Dorian after his disappearance. There's the piano, in the sitting room is kind of the center of chaos, or Astrid's organized chaos, rather. Um, it's where like she's keeping notes of leads and, um, you know, letters from people that she can use as references. Um, she doesn't refuse to wear colors, um, but because she feels like she's in mourning with her fiance disappeared without a trace, she tends to stick to more muted tones, preferring grays and dusty purples, um, and like, you know, more again muted versions of like the colors that, um, she would have liked to start wearing with Dorian to celebrate their love and the color he brought to her life. Um, but yeah, the past several weeks, months have just been Astrid maintaining face in public, going through the streets, and everyone knows that she's on the trail, but it's like a fruitless endeavor at this point. Um, but she was so lucky to get a wonderful little trinket from her friend Rhiannon. And Rhiannon made this charm, like mounted on a silver filigree bracelet with clear stones, um, that has turned into like well, in 2024 we would call it like stimming jewelry, but but it is kind of like something she like almost like a worry stone. Like she just twirls the bracelet around on her wrist, um, just absently now, always trying to see if the clear stones on the bracelet turn purple, indicating Dorian's arrival, but they stay clear. They stay clear.
Or at least they have so far.
Not Regency fidget spinner. Regency thing of slime.
Astrid Regency iPad kid confirmed.
Yes, correct.
Listen, I love that for them.
Regency fidget spinner from Rian. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so that is where Astrid's been.
And I just need to know, for purposes, where has Abigail been? Because when we left her last season, you had gone to Astrid for help and comfort.
Abigail has been around. She's been spending a lot of time at Salvation. But I think currently Astrid probably has not seen Abigail in maybe 2 days, I would say. 48 hours.
And how common has that length of disappearance been?
I think it's been getting steadily longer. I think at first Abigail was borderline agoraphobic, like avoiding windows and going outside completely. And I think over time she has been leaving Salvation more and more, although leaving might not exactly be the right word because she never leaves by the front door. She just isn't there anymore for a while.
And how has that affected you, Astrid, having had one person disappear from right in front of you and now having another who comes and goes in this way?
It's stressful for sure. But at the very least, Abigail so far has always returned. You know, Abigail might not return looking in the best state. Abigail might not return, with um things she's carrying that make sense, but she always returns. Um so even though I think the first time Abigail disappeared for several days, like, it was really stressful and, like, what the fuck? Like, I opened my house to this person that's, my fiance's ex-girlfriend, but, we're gonna be a happy polycule here. Uh, um, so there might have been a lot of, like, trepidation and am I getting punked in the first time, but in subsequent, um iterations, it's been fine.
Abigail, I am just curious. Where are you keeping your father's hand?
I don't think that I have had an option really except to, I don't think Abigail has felt like she's had an option except to keep it on her pretty much at all times. And I think especially on her errands that she has been running, which she's probably due to return from pretty much at any moment, she has had to take it with her because it's relevant.
That is a word to describe it.
Sure is.
I mean, you really gotta hand it to Abigail. She's doing
It's too
a
soon.
great job. You would say it's handily. She's
Too
doing her
soon.
errands.
It's that
She's
if you
got
count Abraham's hand, my math was not off at the beginning of the stream. I could, in fact, do 3 middle fingers.
Brought it all the way back around.
Mhm.
I'm proud of you.
Take that, Cass.
I am curious, and this is with no pressure of expectation for where you may be, Morgan, but how have you been keeping an eye on Salvation?
Probably taking strolls nearby in conspicuous places. If she got caught, she's just walking around, but her eyes are on the grounds pretty regularly. Early evenings. She tries not to go super late at night unless there's some heavy cloud coverage. So she's less likely to be seen. It just walking in the area. Nothing too wild yet.
I appreciate that yet so much.
Give her a little bit. She doesn't know what she can do yet.
I'm excited for when she finds out.
Me too. But I do think if there's some woods nearby, she's often near in the trees. If there's not, then she might accidentally stumble into a garden. You may stumble across her checking out some foliage, some flowers. Depends on the day.
What does Morgan look like now?
She definitely has less charm to her. She's still lovely, but there's something off and unsettling now. And the smiles, when they're seen, definitely don't seem to reach the eye. And those eyes look different. While before they were kind of a pretty lovely turquoise, now they almost look like ice. Her skin looks like porcelain, but not in a good way. There's a very uncanny valley sense when you look at her. It is beautiful, but in a way that makes you physically uncomfortable to stare at for too long. And she holds herself so differently. There is no longer the casual grace and looseness. There is like a stiffness to her gait and her spine, a guardedness. She seems to always know what is going on around her. You can tell it would be very hard to sneak up upon her. And at this point, she is still in, it's a lavender gown, but it's way more muted. Does not have the silvery sheen. And yeah, her hair is also kept up. It's still a little messy. It's perpetually messy. And she's got some blush to her cheeks, but it's very clearly not natural. It's very clearly like a rouge that she's applied. Besides that, there's not a whole lot of color anywhere on her body. Like there's it's again uncanny valley.
And I'm curious, Astrid, since Abigail has been traveling on and off, whether you think you have crossed paths with Morgan at any point.
That is a fabulous question, JD. And let me answer your question with another question. Um, I mean, since Chrissy's playing the ghost, like how much of like a ghost does she appear to be?
She
Okay,
looks
so nothing.
she does not look like a ghost. I mean, that is
Okay.
not the immediate thing you think of. Well, no, I'm gonna actually ask this. We're playing 20 questions back and forth. I'm gonna ask you, Amber. What does Astrid imagine a ghost looks like?
I think she believed in like the human. I mean, I think prior to staying in the witch's cabin over the summer, she believed that like ghosts took on like that human appearance and that like that spiritual form, but became so um like became so familiar. That's the word I was searching for. It became so familiar with like will-o'-the-wisps, and other more non-corporeal spirits, that's kind of how she imagines them now.
And in light of that, my answer will stand. When you look
Okay.
at Morgan, you do not see a ghost. You see certainly someone who is likely a part of the supernatural world, but that could mean a lot of things.
Right. You learn so many things at the lesbian aunts witches cabin. It's so real. Yeah, I think yeah, they had to have had cross paths, in Astrid's pursuit of trying to find some answers, but never. I hate to be like, I've never interacted with the new character, but I think she's just so laser focused on like her task and her goal, and like this is her like one shot at love, and she's not gonna like have anybody take that do more to take that from her than they already have. So like distracting from that goal with like interacting with like a new guy on the scene, totally just not even be on her radar. Like her blinders are up.
And in some ways, I imagine that is helpful for you, Morgan, because it lets you continue to be around and not have that seem noticeable or out of place.
She very much wants to be in a not seen nor heard kind of mode right now.
Mm-hmm. And so the two of you have crossed paths, but nothing of note, at least on Astrid's side of things.
She just loves Dory so much.
Astrid, on this day, you are in the house that has been meant to be yours and Dorian's, but has for the time being been yours and occasionally Abigail's. When you notice that bracelet that you are constantly touching, that you are constantly moving, it's not glowing the way Rhiannon said it would, but it is starting to pulse with energy.
Pulse with energy?
Like the light is flickering on and off inside.
But they don't turn color.
No.
Okay. I think at that, Astrid immediately runs and Steph, I'm gonna send you a letter, but you don't gotta respond to it right now. Immediately runs to like her bureau and just as quickly as she can, like, dip her quill in a pot of ink and just scribble out like the quickest letter, like, dearest Rhiannon, thank you so much for your kind gift. Oh, let me write this down so I can actually send this to her. Hold on. I'm gonna know what that says. All right.
Writing letters in real time, I love it.
I'm gonna clean this up because right now it just looks like nothing.
You're just playing your character, the Regency iPad kid.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind gift of the jewel bracelet. It has been a boon in relieving my anxiety. I'll probably just watch the VOD back. Okay. It's been a boon of relieving my anxiety. during this period in which my beloved has unfortunately been missing. Um, However, I have noticed a certain sort of energy emanating from the bracelet that did not come with the instructions that you provided, and um, she describes the way the energy is pulsating but not quite changing color. Um, if you have any um, if you have any idea what this could possibly indicate, I would love to know. Um, as soon as you get this letter. Thank you again for your kindness and all of the gifts that you have given me. I only wish to pay it back in kind someday. And she'll include like a the little cross stitch of um she's been working on like a little cross stitch of Rhiannon's raven, um, just as like trinkets. Um and will like tie the letter and the cross stitch up, and leave it on the windowsill where Rhiannon's raven usually comes and picks up correspondence.
Incredible. I love that so very much. I am just going to ask for the record, where is Abby right now?
That would probably be a very good time for Abigail to walk out of a door in Salvation. But I think a closet door. Possibly in the room where Astrid has just placed the letter. And she's maybe a little surprised to see Astrid there, but not overly much. Though I will say, for Astrid, Abby's appearance has changed over the time that she has been staying in Salvation, gradually. As the lengths of her trips out of the house have gotten longer, the more drastic it's become. Her skin, which has always been very pale, almost lacking any pigmentation, has only gotten paler. Markings have started to appear on her face, just black spots in a few different places, mostly kind of across her nose and under her eyes. They could almost be freckles. They're clearly not freckles. And her teeth have started to get a little sharper, becoming a little more pointed at the ends. The most drastic of change is that from her forehead, two red horns have started to grow. At first, they were nothing but nubs. Now, they're unmistakable for what they truly are.
Are you transforming into him from the
I mean, not that. And she has lobster claws too. She also has lobster claws.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So sorry, I did not mean to sneak up on you.
No, it's absolutely fine. Abigail, are you okay? I'm sorry. It's just like the first time I've laid eyes on you in a couple days, and I almost had forgotten what you looked like, but you look drained. Do you need to sit? Please. Please sit.
I think Abigail will actually take Astrid up on that and will take a seat. She does seem tired. Very tired. She has like a bag across her chest, like a satchel, and she'll just move it in front of her body as she sits down in the chair, but she won't take it off of her shoulder.
Abigail, do you need a tea? Would you like some water? What can I get you? Anything?
You have done more than enough for me.
How long have you been in the closet?
Can't just ask someone that question, Astrid.
I don't know what you mean.
I'm honestly not sure exactly how long it's been here. Sometime for me. But I had a meeting to attend.
How do you wait? Astrid like kind of um pulls up, just there's probably like at her desk like a little wooden like stool or whatever, and she like sits down and wait, what do you hold on, wait. You s- you don't know how long it's been here? You've been gone for 2 days. What do you mean? What meeting?
Time passes differently in other places. Places where I have had to look for answers. I'm not trying to be cagey. I just don't want to. I've involved you in this matter enough just by coming to you for shelter and protection. This is my mistake to correct, my problem to deal with.
I can certainly understand needing to run away for long periods of time and hiding things. I mean, actually, I don't think Astrid has told any. Well, okay, actually, never mind. Hold on. The cat has been let out about the bag about the fairy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's been like 5 months in real Amber time, and so yeah.
No, that's valid.
Absolutely, it has been.
So yeah, Astrid will be like, I don't want to pressure you or push you into sharing more than you're comfortable sharing. This is not my place to probe. You mean a lot to Dorian. And I would be remiss if when he returned, you were injured or in trouble in any way that we couldn't help. And I think Dorian would be extremely upset. He would be beside himself with grief if anything were to happen with you. But there's no pressure to say anything. You can say whatever you want when you're ready, if you're ever ready.
It must be nice to love someone and never question their feelings for you. To always know that they will put you before everything else, even their own inconvenience.
It knowing that the love between us is true is the only thing keeping me going right now. And I'm so sorry for the way that you've been hurt throughout this whole everything. but you're a member of the House of Salvation now, and we look out for each other.
Do you ever wonder if his name for this house was sincere or ironic?
I think if he named it when we first met, it would have been extremely ironic. I think it would have been dripping in layers of irony. But I think as that irony faded from his personality, it would have become more sincere. But what do I know? I might not know things, but I like to at least assume the best in people.
Have you ever built a house of cards?
Yes. Why do you ask?
Because when you start, there's only one certainty, and that is that it will fall eventually. Maybe not while you are building it, maybe it will stand for a little while, but eventually, inevitably, it will fall. It's a structure that is only as strong as the time that you put into it. And if you tend to it endlessly, tirelessly, it may stand for just a few moments longer, but at the end of the day, it all comes tumbling down. That is what I have done, Astrid. That is what I have been doing. It's building my house of cards and tending to it. When one falls, replace it with another so quickly that the rest of the house never falls down. Until it did. And now my father is missing.
Abigail, I'm so sorry.
I,
Fuck.
perhaps even that is not entirely accurate because I know where he is, or I know who has him. But no matter how many offers I make or deals I strike or parts of myself that I give away, and she reaches up and unconsciously touches the horns at that point and says, "No one will tell me anything."
I think Astrid very tentatively, extremely tentatively, will reach up for the hand that touched the horn and pull it down into Abigail's lap. I'm sorry that all of the sacrifices that you've been making have not been resulting in any inroads that get you answers. I know how much it hurts to have a goal and have no paths that lead to anything that makes sense. I am so sorry that you're in this situation, that you were... Astrid, like, takes a second and like, actually clocks the horns, and she's like, okay, we'll talk about that later, but you're not alone. You don't have to suffer alone. And I know after all of the ways that you've been hurt that it might be easiest for you to suffer alone, or you might feel it's easiest for you to suffer alone. This house can be a home for anybody who crosses who crosses the threshold. It's been your home since you first crossed the threshold, no matter a closet or the attic or what have you.
Abigail looks at you and lays her hand back on top of your hand from where you set it in her lap. And she has this incredibly sad look in her eyes. She says, "No, Astrid. That would not be easiest. What would be easiest is if you told me what you want and let me give it to you. If you told me who you want me to be and let me be that, whoever it is, whatever it is. If I could just be what someone else wants, then it wouldn't have to be me."
That is the exact opposite of the big Gavin DeGraw song. I'm sorry that my brain went to the theme song of One Tree Hill.
Yeah, you're fine.
Astrid takes a second and like flexes her fingers underneath Abigail's hand, just enough to like kind of demonstrate she wants to like fiddle with the bracelet again, but she won't, because it seems like Abigail needs like the physical contact at this moment. Listen, if there's anybody in this room, Abigail, that does not know how to be themselves, it is me. I did not know. I had no idea at all who I truly was until weeks ago. And I've just been pursuing Dorian's disappearance as a coping mechanism to not have to confront that. To have to go back to Fairy and do whatever courtly duties, I guess, are expected of me now. I don't know. So I get it. From the opposite side, I don't know how to be me. I wish I could give you... I wish I could tell you who to be. But who would I be to say that, to give you that instruction when I don't even know who I should be?
Abigail is going to reach up and put her hand on the side of Astrid's face and say very quietly, leaning forward, "Maybe maybe we could find that in each other. And after a moment, he's going to shake her head and pull her hand back and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a you're fine. You're fine. You're clearly suffering, and I'm not offended at all. I am flattered.
I want you to know that it's not you. And I don't mean that as an insult. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. It's what I know. It's quick, easy relief. Just disappear into someone else and then. But it's wrong, especially with you, with everything that you've done for me and everything that Dorian has done for me. And I'm trying to be me, whoever that is, and however much it hurts. And sometimes it hurts so much that I can't stand to be a second longer. But
You're mourning the loss of yourself.
I don't think I am. I think I'm being born. And the world is loud and bright and painful. And it's just easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's okay. I'm proud of you for. Sorry, it's just the longest conversation we've ever had. But uh, I'm proud of you for literally going through hell and back, I presume, and coming out alive.
As stupid as it sounds, I am trying to let this place be what it says it is. Salvation.
Let's do what we can while we have the time and while we have the ability to keep Dorian's dream of this house alive and make sure that this is the salvation it can be for those who need it, even its residents.
And I think that is the moment that there is an overwhelming flash of light from outside. But more notably for you, Astrid, Rhiannon's bracelet lights up. And one thing I need to know is, where have you been keeping that feather that came from Dorian's wing?
This is the one piece of the mystery that Astrid has not been toting around and like keep, appearing like fucking Belle's dad from Beauty and the Beast, like a crazy person. The feather is like the last thing that Dorian gave her. So she keeps it safe in like those old, the old timey like roll top desks have like little hidden compartments sometimes with like that can be opened with keys. I think she keeps it in one of the hidden compartments of the desk.
That drawer starts shaking.
Abigail, please excuse me just a moment. Excuse me just a moment. And she gets up and like straightens out her skirts and just like goes over to her desk, takes out the little key from her chatelaine, and opens because of course she has a chatelaine.
Of course.
And opens up like the drawer and takes out the feather.
And the feather is there, but it is pulsing in a different way than the bracelet was pulsing. That was just kind of flashes of energy. So is this, but it is alternating with gold and shadow, almost like the feather itself is changing in real time. And the stones on the bracelet are moving into that deep purple color that Rhiannon told you they would when Dorian was back.
It is just like him to show up only when people are talking about him.
You're not wrong. Oh my god. Abigail, Astrid like locks the drawer back up, and like all sense of like decorum and dignity Astrid has like just go out the window, gone. She flees down to the piano to like pick up all like as many of the papers and like letters and everything as she can. And you said that there's a flash of light outside. Yeah. She like goes to fucking book it as fast as her little leggies will take her. Like, and those who can see her tail, I think, since Abigail knows of Astrid being a Huldra, those who can see her tail see it like kind of curled up like a cat does, but like when it's excited. So.
And so I am curious, as Astrid runs through the streets in the direction of the palace, which is where this light has landed. What does Abigail do, having been left alone, in salvation?
Abigail will go to the doorway and stand there and watch whatever's about to happen, but she's not going to step foot out of the house and onto the streets of London.
Valid. There are werewolves in London.
Well, werewolves.
It's true. Uncalled
Bruh.
for, but true.
Bruh.
Meanwhile, we're gonna pan over to the palace, where Mr. Dorian Black, you stand in a spot of blighted earth. The angel Remiel, now encased in your sword that is inscribed with mercy. And with the final words that Rem had said to you in this moment of returning, reminding you that you have many promises to keep.
Then I do. Is anyone in front of me? Like, I'm assuming someone from the palace has noticed something. Okay.
Certainly. I think there's a
Mhm.
moment where you're almost surprised that there aren't just guards coming from every direction, because you just made this very spectacular and alarming appearance on the palace grounds. But actually all you see as you look around is someone you haven't seen before. She, as the other table knows, has black hair that's tied back. She is wearing a leather vest and leather pants. And the best way I can describe her movement is that she stalks towards you, but not like she plans to attack. Just like she's sizing you up in more of a curious sort of way.
Mhm. Hmm. Your new face.
I am, and you are a new face to me.
Yeah. I was away on a business trip.
What business did you have in heaven?
Conversations. God wanted to have a chat. Oh, apologies. Mr. Dorian Black. And you are.
Seneschal Nix.
Ah, you Seneschal. Oh, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I will be returning. I see that things are a little out of sorts, and I'd like very much to put it to right, but there is someone that I need to see first.
Mr. Black, I would love to compromise with you, but you just appeared on the palace grounds
Mm-hmm.
from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I have to assume one of two things, the first of which seems unlikely, and therefore I'm not going to make that assumption, because I do not make assumptions that are inaccurate in any way, shape, or form. And that would be that you are the new representative from heaven, which we had been instructed to expect. But that is not the sense that I get from your appearance.
Considering they didn't ask me to be that, I'm going to go with probably not. And what's the other assumption?
The other assumption has way more pieces of the puzzle missing than I am a fan of. But that would be... It's interesting because Mr. Black, I am familiar with angels and demons, and I readily recognize the scent of both. I have no idea what you are.
I know, isn't it fascinating?
I like puzzles, Mr. Black. We will talk again.
Of course. I look forward to it. Do you have office hours, or should I just come up whenever?
I would welcome you in at any time.
Good to know. Pleasure. Seneschal.
Pleasure is all mine, Mr. Black.
He will give a bow and turn to head back to Salvation.
And Amber can let me know if they agree with this, but I imagine that you, Dorian, turn to start walking, and there is just a blur of movement as Astrid comes sprinting onto the palace grounds directly at you.
It's
Yeah,
well
just
established
pull-
how fast Astrid is.
It's true.
We have.
Astrid's so fast.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, Christy, we established this a year ago.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Is she Naruto running? No. But has Astrid invented Naruto running? Probably.
Probably.
If there's any member of the larger ASOS table, that would be Hokage. It probably would be Astrid. Anyway.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
It's so true. So true. So yes, if Astrid is running up, he just looks back. It's like, I may not have to go too far after all. Do excuse me. And he's going to sort of meet them.
Dorian.
Hi.
Oh my God.
I'm all right. Are you all right?
Where have you been? It's been months.
He's going to kiss. He's going to kiss her.
Yeah, that shuts her up.
Yeah. Sorry, I got held up.
When we started this game, didn't we say that because it's Regency, holding hands counts as your sex move?
But at some point it stopped counting for these two because their activities were just escalating by the moment.
Sure.
We had piano lessons. What do you want from
I'm not
me?
a unicorn anymore.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a unicorn anymore. I am now learned in the ways of the world.
It's true. You're no one's third.
Exactly.
I've been a unicorn. It sucks. That's why you quit.
I got held up. Did you say months?
Katie, what month is it?
It's been like a month.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's December.
It's next year.
It's 2024. Where have you been all these years?
Sorry. How long has it been?
a month. I mean, months is an exaggeration. I'm so sorry. It's felt so long. And
No.
Astrid like has the papers, but just like when you kissed her, she dropped them, and they've like fluttered onto the ground. And she's just holding on like to your biceps, just like just tight, as if she can't believe you're here. And like, yeah, but it's been a month.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It didn't feel like that. It was moments for me. Oh, the worry you must have been through. I'm so sorry.
You disappeared without.
I promised I'd come back. And I did.
Yeah.
If I'd said anything more, you would have tried to stop them and they would have tried to hurt you. I couldn't let that happen. I think he's going to move a hand up to the side of Astrid's face. Didn't mean to worry you.
She wants to be more indignant, like, because this is the second time in like an hour someone said, "Oh, well, they're gonna come after you," and she's like, "Fuck, who are they?" But her eyebrows knit in consternation, and she just very lightly bites her tongue from the accusations she wants to levy but will not. Instead, her eyelids slide close, and she just lays her forehead on your chest, just trying to get a sense of your heartbeat, since it's been so long that she's heard and felt it.
Hey, JD, is my heartbeat different? Because I'm apparently a new creature. So I just want to know if it's different.
I think it is. I think it is remarkably, almost unhealthily slow. Like 25 to 30 beats a minute slow. It's steady. But when you initially listen, there's a moment where you think it's not beating at all.
Oh, is the seneschal still here?
Oh, yeah. The seneschal is like 100% just standing there, muscular arms crossed over her chest, watching this happen.
Astrid goes to say something about the heartbeat, but then looks up and says, "Oh, oh, 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 Dorian, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were meeting someone.
Well,
I mean,
that was a surprise for me as well. I wasn't the one to create the portal to come down here. So we just sort of showed up where we were.
right, yeah.
But Seneschal Nix, this is my wife to be, Lady Astrid Prema.
Seneschal Nix.
Yes, that is my name. A pleasure.
I'm sorry to be so rude, and Astrid pulls herself away from Dorian regretfully and levies a small curtsy in the way of the seneschal.
Sorry. was in a mood when I was speaking upstairs. So decorum has left me. I do apologize.
No apologies necessary. It seems this is quite the reunion.
It is, and I was apologizing to my fiance.
Of course you were.
Sorry, I saw the Rhiannon's bracelet was pulsing, and I saw the light, and she told me that when the bracelet starts pulsing, when the bracelet turns color, that you would be home. And I had to see if it was true.
It is, and I am. I've got a lot to tell you, but
yeah,
that's for when we get home.
Right. I apologize for my impropriety, Seneschal.
Oh. I feel like I was the improper one, but how about we head home and we can have a visit with the Seneschal some other time.
Yes, it will be a joyous occasion at Sanctuary to have you return. Sanctuary, it will truly be once more.
Salvation.
Or Salvation, my bad. Listen.
It's all good. I got it. Great. Well then, and he will hold out an arm.
She'll take it.
Do you wanna walk back, or you wanna take the express?
Well, let me grab all these papers that I dropped. One second.
Oh, sure.
And she does so, and then, and then takes your arm. The express will be great.
Wonderful. He's going to put an arm around their middle, and then the wings come out. One black tipped in gold, one white tipped in black. Hold tight. And he's just going to...
And we get the opportunity to witness this new display of Dorian's powers from the standpoint of Seneschal Nyx, who is still standing there watching. And she just nods to herself and says, well, it shouldn't be hard to find them again. It's not hard to find salvation. And we're gonna cut back to the house for a moment, where Abigail has remained. Abigail, you have been standing in the doorway watching.
Can I see the palace from the front door?
Likely not clearly.
I didn't think so.
You can kind of guess geographically that is likely around where the light is falling, but you cannot see anything that is happening there. I do think, though, as you stand there, that you hear the creak of floorboards behind you and turn to see an unfamiliar young woman entering the room. I think that is where we're going to take our break.
Well,
so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes to see what shenanigans this group gets up to.
Boy.
Hello, welcome back. We are here for so much more emotional damage, I have no doubt, because there has not been enough tonight thus far. We have just left our pair of happy reunited lovers who are flying away from the palace and return to where Abigail has been keeping watch from the house and has just heard something surprising as Astrid and occasionally Abigail herself are the only two current occupants of Salvation. Yet, with the creaking of floorboards, a young woman steps in from the other room, and Morgan, I think you're surprised to find yourself here because you were just outside. I'm imagining that you had seen bits and pieces of what happened, of Astrid running from the house suddenly in a flurry of movement, of that light, of Abigail moving to watch from the door. And then it was like you blinked, and rather than being outside the house, you were inside. That's something that's happened to you before, where you're one place and then you're another, and you're not quite sure how you jumped between. But this certainly is not the first time you've come across Abigail having had a jump like that. It is, though, the first time Abigail has seen you.
Oh, hello?
Who are you?
My name's Morgan.
And are you?
Am I Morgan?
Or is it just a name?
You know, I don't know anymore. You tell me.
Oh, clearly you don't know who I am.
No, I absolutely do. Miss Donatelli. Everyone knows who you are.
In fact, that's not true. And I work very hard to keep it that way.
Hmm.
Which begs the question, who are you?
I told you.
No,
My name's Morgan Fairbrook.
beyond your name. That is what people call you. It's not who you are.
You know, there was a time I knew the answer to that question. I've I've been away for some time. You might have known the answer to that question at one point too.
You did tell me to tell you who you are.
I was kind of hoping you could.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Just gonna take a string on Morgan real quick. She told me what she wants. And then think I would like to gaze into the abyss.
I would love that for you.
Cool. I will, I think Abigail will take a few steps towards Morgan and reach out. And as she does so, she's going to say, "Don't move." She'll step in very close to Morgan until their noses are almost touching. And then I'm going to stare into her eyes and see what comes up.
Does Morgan allow this level of closeness and intimacy?
I think she does. She's very confused. But she's already unsettled. She doesn't know how she got where she is now. She was very unsettled by that conversation because one, she wasn't expecting it. Two, it didn't go the way she was expecting. So I don't think that she could move if she wanted to. She's just like frozen with not fear, but just like, what?
Well, in that case, JD, should I roll with dark?
You should.
That's a 10, baby. That's an 11, actually, with dark. And so I get lucid visions, and I take one forward to addressing them, except that I have the move Abyssborn. And if I get a 10 up on a roll to gaze into the abyss about a desire I can procure, I take 2 forward instead of 1 forward.
Incredible. And so you have been going into this with the question of who is Morgan? Abigail, I was going to say, technically speaking, you're Abyssborn. And this is a very natural move for you to do. You have seen things that no human could see so many times and answered questions that no human could answer. And that's why immediately you know that something is wrong. Because you gaze into Morgan's eyes and you feel yourself falling. And that is a familiar sensation. That is not unfamiliar. You've fallen into memories and moments before. But these are incredibly disjointed. These are fragments. You see Morgan out in high society. You see her with her parents, 2 siblings, looking so different than she looks now. Almost as though it's a completely different person, but you can see the echoes of who she once was and who she is now. And you're scrolling through this, trying to understand the story that is being presented to you. Because you're seeing glimpses of someone who looks happy, who looks well cared for, who is moving through society with grace and poise. But you recognize some of these parties. You recognize some of these dances. You can almost scroll back through your own memories and pinpoint the places where Morgan is missing. It's not a noticeable absence, and you would not be able to do that could you not hold what you are seeing as you peer into her eyes alongside your own memories. And then you see blood. You see a pool of blood on a stone floor. And you see chalk dust in whites and grays and blacks and reds. Though it's not forming an image, it's just smeared. Well, you're not quite sure what it's smeared around because all you can see is a hand. And the word your mind keeps coming back to as you ask yourself that question, who is Morrigan? Is just a sacrifice.
So just to make sure that I understand, it's not that we were like in adjacent circles, but I never noticed her. It's like I knew her, and now there's just a gap.
Correct.
Okay. Follow-up question. The chalk and the different colors doesn't mean anything to me?
It has so many meanings that it would be hard to nail one down.
Okay.
It's not unusual for those colors or that substance to be used in ritual magic, but whether that is infernal, whether that is witchcraft, what specifically it would be to do is not clear.
But it doesn't look like what was done to me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Abigail, I think, comes back out of that a sharp intake of breath. If you know who I am, then you know that asking me for something and for me to give it to you, it empowers me. It feeds me. And it has been quite some time since anyone has asked me for anything. So I want you to understand the gravity it holds when I say, are you sure you want to know?
That depends. Do you want your appetite sated?
Not if it means hurting someone.
I don't know that I've felt anything for a long time. Pain might be an interesting sensation.
Normally, I would agree. Your question, you asked who you were, who you are. And the answer is no one. You are dead.
sorry. You can see me.
I can. Though, if you know who I am, maybe not all the time.
Who? Did you see how?
I saw blood. I saw a stone floor, chalk, symbols, circles. You weren't just killed. You were a sacrifice for something.
What a way to go. I just no one remember me. I was someone. I was such a someone.
I'm sure you were. A knife or a gun can end a life, but only dark magic can kill someone so completely that it's like they never even existed.
So what do I do?
What do you want to do?
Find out the who. Find out the why. Maybe return the favor. Make things interesting. Maybe feel something again.
Well, if you are broken and looking for revenge, you're in good company.
Maybe you can give me a hand.
People keep making this joke.
Do you find it funny?
No,
I didn't think so.
not because it's a touchy subject, but because it isn't.
I'm sorry, reading chat.
I didn't even do that on purpose. Hate everything.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude on your friend's home. I felt kind of drawn to it for a while.
It seems to have that effect on people.
I should probably take my leave before they return.
Why?
I don't know that they would be quite as intrigued to find me here as you were.
I think you'd be surprised. Dorian, who owns this house, something tells me that he always knew it would end up attracting misfits.
I feel like that's a polite name for it.
If I insult you with it, then I insult myself.
No. I am long beyond being able to be insulted. Well, perhaps I will stay.
We knew each other, you and I.
Did we?
I was hoping you would remember. Everywhere you should be in my memories, there's just a space.
Abby, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Was Morrigan part of your clique?
That's an interesting question. It certainly could be. If I have memories where she was close to me, and if I have memories where she was close to me, then there's a good probability because Abby didn't really let people get close to her who weren't. But that makes it all the stranger that I wouldn't remember her.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Chrissy's fine with that, then I'm fine to say that that was the case.
Chrissy's fine with that.
Does Abby know that?
I think in light of what you just said about how Abby would only have let someone get that close to her, were they in that inner circle, I think there would be enough elements that you would have caught in those memories to recognize that there was that connection.
I never thought about what would happen to you.
Why would you have?
Because I took your mind so casually and wrapped it around my finger like thread until you needed me more than anything else. And then I cut it and left you, all of you, to fend for yourselves.
Are you proud of that?
No. Pride implies intention.
I wonder if that's why I'm here. What was it
On
like?
me?
Maybe those strings aren't quite as wet as you'd like to believe. Haunting also requires intention. I never meant to come here. Well, not for you.
You died for a reason. Somebody killed you for a reason. Which means that they can be found.
Are you up for a challenge? I mean, if not, I can do it on my own.
No, I get it. It's not lost on me. It's more games, it's more give and take.
I thought that's what you were good at.
Everyone has their talents. And here I stand, the devil, in a house called salvation. The embodiment of everything that I have ever done wrong. Offering me the chance to fix it. The games are tiring.
My apologies. I didn't realize you were so exhausted.
I thought you were watching me.
Memories from the past few months have been spotted. So I know who you are. That doesn't mean I know everything you've done, or remember at least. I suppose. You
We'll
were
find
unable.
out who killed you, Morgan.
Sounds like a plan. But let's be clear. This isn't atonement. This isn't fixing things. It's just redirecting them.
There are worse things than being haunted, I suppose.
Yes, I can say there is. Being the one who do the haunting isn't quite as fun.
I have to ask, what would be worse than being haunted, Abby?
Being alone.
Just gonna file that away in the back of my mind for future knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am also going to ask a question that has relevance. We talked about the moment that Abigail found the box with her father's hand, and we talked about where she went afterwards. If we were to stand there in the room with her during that moment, what would we have seen in the immediate aftermath?
I think we would have seen Abby open the box, but there was already an array of emotions that had gone across her face before that point. She got to her apartment and the door was already open. The protections weren't in place anymore. She had just come from the dinner party. And she, I think, knew what she was going to find before she even opened the box. But even so, when she did, when she saw the hand, she would have broken. She was barely keeping it together up to that point, balancing everything, everyone's wants, everyone's wishes, playing the long con with the Winter Court. And at some point, we had talked about what her worst fear was. And the answer was that her house of cards would come tumbling down. And that was the moment when it did. And she broke down right with it. I think in a way that she never had before. I think she's still putting herself back together.
And we have a chance to return to that moment, to see something that Abigail did not see, to see the figure standing right there over her shoulder. And I think for you, Morgan, when Abigail says there are worse things than being haunted, you remember the sight of a girl with the weight of the world on her shoulders, coming face to face with one of her greatest failures and collapsing.
You really know how to put on a intriguing mask. You know.
Spent a very long time being nothing else. The way you look at me makes me uncomfortable.
Good.
I suppose it is.
We all have our talents. Besides, doesn't comfort get a little tedious sometimes?
Now that I would not know.
I don't suppose you would. I hope one day you do find out. So where do we begin? Oh, sorry.
You should stay. You should stay. Here, meet Dorian and Astrid, and not be alone.
Did they know me?
And I think that is the perfect segue for our winged figure and his fiance to touch down at Salvation.
Should I be made aware of anything I'm going to be walking into? You had a month.
The house has been upkept. It's actually mostly been me by myself, I must admit.
Oh,
Abigail has been in and out.
Abigail.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, well, all right.
She's been needing a safe place to land, especially after everything that went down a few weeks ago. But I mean, salvation is available to everyone.
It's true. Okay. Just between you and I, Abigail said she didn't need salvation. Just a little musing to myself.
It's not what I said.
I don't know how to interpret that.
I said if you tried to save me, I would kill you. I didn't say I didn't need salvation. I said if you tried to save me, I would kill you.
Sure. That's fair.
Astrid reflects on the moment where Abigail almost kissed her about an hour ago and just, sure, I don't pretend to know what you mean, Dorian. I'm just glad you're here. I hope you'll find the house to your liking. I haven't really changed anything.
I mean, it can be bare bones, and if you're in it, it's full for me. So Shall we? I'm just going to open the door.
Abigail, we're home.
Abigail will walk to the front out of the room that she was talking to Morgan in. And she'll round the corner and I think stop. And I imagine she and Dorian will kind of just take each other in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck are you?
Yep.
Huh.
Looks like we both did a little bit of falling.
Did a whole lot more than that. But yes. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
So apparently it's been a month.
Has it?
And apparently that's what I was told. Time is weird, apparently, in heaven. However, the whole ordeal was just a lot. So I would like a drink. Perhaps we could all sort of discuss story time of sorts.
You two retire to the salon. If you tell me what you would like to drink, I can get it prepared for you.
Oh, darling, we don't need much. It's just whiskey.
One finger or two?
2. Hell, it's been enough. I'll take 3.
I will take the whole hand.
A whole hand, you say? Wow, Abigail, wow.
A woman of many talents.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and prepare whiskeys for the 3 of us. And yeah.
The 3 of you, you say?
There's someone you should meet.
I'm sorry?
Is Morgan still there? Is my question. Because I told her she should stay, but
I'm going to leave that up to Chrissy.
You're muted.
Yeah. I think she did stay. I think she's currently looking out the window, trying not to panic. And she's trying to figure out how she got here. She's guessing she could probably walk through walls at this point, but she doesn't know for certain. And so in order to leave, she would have had to walk past the people going in. So yeah, she's still here.
She's trapped.
Yeah.
Dorian Black, Astrid Primer. This is Morgan.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
It's wonderful to meet the both of you. I've heard good things.
Oh, have you?
Miss Abigail spoke highly of the both of you.
That doesn't sound like me.
Not at all.
No, it absolutely does not sound like Abigail.
Oh, I suppose she spoke neutrally then.
Closer, certainly. Do you need a place to stay?
Would you like a whiskey?
I think I would like to try.
All right. It is strong. It's from America, so just be aware.
Yeah. Astrid gives the drinks to Dorian and Abigail and then retreats to the kitchen to grab for Morgan. And as she gives the glass to Dorian, she like leans into his ear and goes, this young woman was not here when I left.
Noted.
Just so you know.
Understood. Yeah, it's just a little kiss, cheek, and then let you go back. So, Morgan, what brings you to salvation?
That's a good question. This house is just so entrancing.
Okay, well, that means that it's doing its thing. You got anything you're running away from?
I don't know. No. Running to, maybe.
Oh.
Still figuring that out.
All right. Understood.
That must be freeing. The rest of us are simply racing towards death. You've already gone beyond.
I got an early start.
My condolences. Lord, my congratulations.
Interesting.
How so?
I don't know which it would be either.
All right, well, I hope in time that you figure out which is which.
Abigail had some insight. Do you recognize my face? Because she didn't, at least not at first.
JD?
You do not recognize Morgan's face. But looking at her makes the hair on the back of your neck start to stand up. There's that sensation of your stomach dropping. And you don't know why. You don't remember ever interacting with this person before, but she feels like she should be familiar. And you hope to God you never find out the reason why.
I can't say that I recall. Though, to be fair, I've not even been here a year, so this was technically my third season. Well, not really, like the third season of the first season. Right. That's how that
You
works.
wouldn't.
Right?
You would not recognize her. I kept my circle away from you.
That'll do it.
It appears she knows more about me than I know about myself.
I think this is when Astrid would come back with the whiskey for Morgan and just would I recognize her? No. Okay, yeah. Try.
No, that makes sense. If you were part of her circle, then yeah, we didn't mix our goings on.
I can't imagine why.
Would have meant tipping my hand.
I just realized. I just checked my character sheet. I'm so sorry. My back I have to have a string on you because I'm hot and almost irresistibly so. So I gain a string on everyone, and I just remembered.
Honestly, understandable. You, Amber, have so many strings on me, Chrissy, so your character may have a string on me happily.
Yeah, right down that you have a string on Abigail, too. You know, Dorian, it's the funniest thing. A week or two ago, I was going about my business when suddenly I was struck with the most visceral sense of satisfaction.
Oh?
Like I had warned someone about something, and that warning was validated.
Well, I'm sure that person has learned a very valuable lesson. You know what? No. I'm going to make a change. Abigail, you were right. Cheers.
Whatever you went through up there, I'm sure that hurt more.
I'm so sorry. What was Abigail right about? Is that okay if I ask?
Oh, that me taking on an angelic companion within myself was about the same as me being beholden to her father. Now, when it comes to Remiel, that wasn't the case, but being called away to go and have a conversation with the big one, that made the warning valid.
Well, hopefully, you have learned that true freedom means only one thing: no gods, no masters.
I learned a couple of things. One of them being that God can be cut.
I'm sorry. What was that?
God can be cut.
And how did that work out for you?
Well, I'm here now, Anna.
You are painfully so much the same.
And yet so very different.
Not in any of the ways that matter. You trade a gun for a sword.
I still have the gun.
But still the same cowboy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that part you can't really take out.
You won't fight God and win with a sword. At least, not when he is facing you.
Yeah, well, that's not the case, then I will go out fighting.
See, this is what I mean. I did not say you couldn't kill God. But what you have never understood is that you go in guns blazing, they see you coming. And no matter what you let into your head or who you hand the other end of your strings to, he will always be more powerful than you. Which means, God help us all, that you're going to have to use your head.
How are Morrigan and Astrid feeling as they witness this conversation?
About this casual conversation about killing God?
Sorry, I was DMing Chrissy about something else. I think Astrid, this conversation is way over Astrid's head, and each sentence that's shared is more and more opposite of what Astrid thought she found in their pursuit of Dorian's disappearance. So they're just really confused and sipping on the whiskey, just trying to make sense of it all, and trying not to dip into letting her mind wander too much about what might be waiting for her in Fairy. All this talk of disappearances and going somewhere and changing.
And I am also curious, before we talk to Morgan, about what her response is. It stands out to me that the person Dorian is as he interacts with Abigail is different than the person he is when he interacts with Astrid. What is it like for Astrid to see that piece? To see this different part of Dorian surfacing in response to his ex-lover?
I think on the surface she's okay with it because it has to be okay. It has to be okay. I mean, their relationship was wildly different. Their connection was wildly different compared to the connection that Astrid shares with Dorian. And it's enough that, Astrid is dissociating a little bit and not really engaging in the conversation because it's so weird. But it's just them. It's just how they communicate. But Astrid can't say she's not jealous.
And so we have the two exes talking about killing God. We have the fiance witnessing this interaction and trying to stave off that feeling of jealousy. And we have Morrigan hearing this talk of killing God in heaven and casual displays of violence. What is she thinking?
that it's interesting how casually and openly these people who are complete strangers to her are speaking. Are you always so careless with everyone's secrets or just your own?
What secret exactly?
Would you have this conversation? Well, actually, I don't know why I'm asking that. I am casual viewer.
Yes, to answer your question.
Noted.
I've been having this conversation since I was 8 years old. I think.
And so that we're clear, Abigail, I didn't go in guns blazing. I bided my time. I waited. You say that I'm no different, but I think you'll see that you're wrong.
Perhaps. But I'd be willing to bet you still had to get the last word in and say something before you struck.
You know, I don't remember. It wasn't anything snarky, because I don't remember that.
Must not have been very good then.
I think it was just simple. You know, I think I just said no more. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Or did I say that? Or did I say that to Gabriel?
Not your best work.
Sorry. Good God, I think that's pretty up there, you know? But it's sure. Sorry about this. Astrid, you all right?
I'm okay. I just I did you explain to me that you would be summoned to heaven?
I
Don't
was
quite
not
remember.
aware that that was a part of the deal. I don't think Rem knew that that was a part of the deal.
But Abigail knew.
I imagine Abigail assumed.
Well, assuming does, you know the saying. Okay. Uh, is there anything else you're not telling me, Dorian?
I don't believe so. I don't know what I currently am, if that makes any sense.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm not a demon or devil or an angel. I don't really know what I am at the moment.
You're Dorian. Shouldn't that be enough?
Oh, no, I know who I am. That part, no problem. What I am. It's a curiosity, really.
I agree with your fiance. These labels grow tiresome.
Sure. And I'm Dorian.
I'm sorry, Miss Morgan. I know that you are new to this house, and I apologize for bringing up my private business in front of you. It is incredibly rude. I believe I need to take a few moments by myself, and I will return shortly.
No
And
apologies necessary.
Astrid drinks all of the whiskey in her glass in one go and kind of slams her glass on the table. But other than that, her motions are as fluid and graceful as ever. And I think this is a good moment for a runaway.
I think that is very fair.
I will say that Abigail, as soon as Astrid is out of the room, Abigail is crossing her arms and looking at Dorian
And
Should
so,
I leave
yeah,
you two alone?
No, Dorian was just leaving.
Excuse me, I know that I was. Hey, this is my house. Don't tell me what to do.
I'm supposed to assume that you've learned how to be a caring and responsible romantic partner in 2 months.
Oh, okay. So you're throwing that in my face now too. That's incredibly disrespectful.
In your own house, no less.
Exactly. All right. I am giving Astrid a moment, but I am going after. Let it be clear.
Astrid, what did we roll?
I rolled a 9. So on a 7 to 9, I get away, but choose one. I run into something worse, I cause a big scene, or I leave something behind. And I think this is a very big scene that I have caused.
Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Fuck.
Uh-oh.
You are the one person I don't have a string on. You rolled a 9. I could have made it a 10.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love that you can't, though. That you can't just give Astrid that space to run away. And so I think it is fair to say, Astrid, I mean, you certainly did cause a big scene with your exit from the room. But I think this escalates into an even bigger scene. And I'm curious, where is Astrid going as she runs?
At first she considers going upstairs, but doesn't want to feel trapped. Because where do you go from there, right? You jump out the window. But I think instead Astrid just runs away to the back porch area or the backyard area of the estate, of the house, just to get some air. It's just realizing how much Abigail knows about Dorian versus what little Dorian has actually shared with Astrid about himself in that regard is unsettling.
And I'm going to preemptively say that this is not me having you run into something worse, that this is you causing a big scene, Astrid. But as you go outside, as you move into that space, as your mind is saying, I need some distance, it takes you a moment to realize that you've stepped right through into fairy.
Oh no.
that it has a door has opened up to give you a chance to be somewhere else, somewhere that isn't here. And
Sorry,
you're
because
not
he's just eating the bagel.
And I don't think you're there for long. I think like you recognize the space that you're in because you've been there before. You recognize I've never been here without my sister to guide me. I don't know what I'm meant to do here. I do not want anyone here to see me. And you quickly kind of bullet your way through and out. But you come back on the palace grounds where you were earlier this evening. And you come face to face with the trio, the current seneschal, and the two previous seneschals.
Including my ex-fiance?
Correct.
Let's
The
go.
new
Okay,
seneschal,
sure.
your ex-fiance, and the man that you stabbed with a tree branch.
It's true.
Bruh.
Yes.
And my ex-fiance.
Yeah, it's a bad
They're
time.
the closest thing Abigail's ever had.
And I think there's just a moment as you stare at them, and the three of them stare with a variety of expressions at you, from Nyx, who looks amused, Julius, who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, Damien, who is just in a place of, this might as well happen. And I think that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
I
What
just
the
got here.
fuck?
No.
No.
Fuck.
It don't be like that sometimes,
Don't be like
but
that
it do.
sometimes. But
Don't be
also,
like that
it do.
sometimes.
I just
it
arrived
don't.
to this party. You can't shut it down so early.
Listen, we've sometimes gone to 12:30, and I try desperately to not do this, especially when me and Will have to, well, I guess
Not this
end
table.
Q. Yeah.
That's some table 2 bullshit. We don't go
Not
to
table
12:30.
1.
You definitely have.
I don't think
You
so.
definitely have.
That doesn't sound like something we would do.
I remember a massacre at a certain
definitely.
estate that went very late.
That was table 2. I was just guessing.
You were present.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, yeah.
Also,
Listen, you keep calling this table 1. I'm from table 2 originally, you know?
Yes, we are
go.
both originally from table 2.
Yeah, I recognize that I'm the only remaining table 1 person at this table, but it's still table 1.
I will say, listen, Kit constantly taking shit up to like 72. Yeah.
It's true.
Fantastic.
It's true.
God bless America.
all right, everyone.
boys.
So let's do some outros before we wrap up for tonight.
Let's do it.
That means starting with Amber.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber. I am a 3-time Emmy-nominated TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, and streamer. Tonight, I have been Astrid Primer, your Holdra, and your prim and proper lady of the house. I really, well, okay, I do have some minor things to promo. I've kind of been on like a self-induced mental health hiatus to keep me out of Grippy Sock jail. So, because we almost went there in January. Things I want to promote. Monday coming up, JD, correct me if I'm wrong, here on Life in the Apocalypse is Thy Kingdom Come, which is our Urban Shadows campaign where we have only done 1 episode so far, and there were many Rammies to be had. And there will continue to be more religious Rammies. If you love religious Rammies from this game, what if you gave it to teenagers and JD, who is also Jesus? It's fine.
There's so much to unpack in that sentence.
So much in that sentence.
So, come hang out on Monday at 8 p.m. But other than that, I'm gonna be at a Nats game on Tuesday, and that's where you can find me Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'm gonna just be eating lots of hot dogs. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Is that me?
Yeah.
That's fine. Hello. Hi. My name is Will, one of the storytellers and the organizers here at Live from the Apocalypse. Tonight, I was, as always, Miss Abigail Donatelli, the devil, going through it. But I don't know. We've been worse. People in the chat, people were saying like Abby's in her depression era, and like, no, this is what Abby has been the entire time. There have just been people around for her to like flirt with and seduce, and that's what she defaults to. Mm-hmm. Now is the real shit. So that's Abigail. We'll see if we see more of that. Who knows what's going to happen this season? Anything could on a threeson of three grits and shadows. God, what is coming up? Saturday, we are going to be playing Class Reunion, our 5e homebrew about a group of high school students from Ohio who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years. Though we may have to do something about changing that tagline because, well, we'll get into it more on Saturday, but I will say that one exciting thing that is happening is that Q is going to be joining the cast permanently. Cast of Class Reunion. So it's not just going to be 4 high school students from Ohio who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years. It's going to be 4 high school students from Ohio who have been trapped in a fantasy world for 10 years and their friend. Yeah, that's going to be really fun. It's going to be good. Saturday, we're playing at 1 p.m. this Saturday, switching it up a little bit, probably 1 to 4 if I had to guess, but I'm not 100% positive about that. I'm doing the thing again where I look at my calendar, which is still February, like it's going to help me. It's not. Tuesday is the second episode of Nephilim Tenebris, the near future gritty sci-fi game that is a sequel to the first game that I ever ran anywhere on stream. It was one of the games that launched the channel. We had our first session. It was very fun. Everybody was very feral. And the second session is only gonna be more so. I promise you that. I can guarantee that. It's very good. The VOD is out there if you want to check it out and join us for that. Wednesday, I haven't heard to the contrary. We didn't do it last time, so I think we're going to be recording the finale to season 2 of Cryptic Community College, our Monster of the Week actual play. Once that's edited, it'll start releasing in podcast form, but I think we only have like 2 episodes left to record this season, so we're going to do that on Wednesday, everything willing. I think that is all the stuff that I have to talk about that's coming up. I think, right? Yeah, that works. I will just put it out there in text form. JD, put Kit and I at the same table, you coward.
And I made it clear that is for season 4 Tokyo Drift.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I believe I heard someone shout London Drift earlier. So you should. Okay, good. It was Amber. All right.
That's a cut of meat.
London Drift?
It's ignore me.
Weird.
Please.
Weird, I don't like it.
For the love of God.
So many questions.
The London broil is a cut of, you know what? Never mind.
No, I get I knew that.
Is it Q or is it Chrissy? Who's next?
It's Chrissy.
It's Chrissy.
Let's move on.
You're mute. Yep, you got it.
You're muted.
There we go. Hi, I'm Chrissy. I have been Morgan. I wanted to make a I got your cut of meat joke right here joke or something, but it's the moment's passed. But imagine I did. I don't have anything to plug other than my Twitter, where I make equally awkward jokes and share a little too much of my life and occasionally a thirst trap or two. And so anytime I do have something to plug, you can find it on there. But for right now, I don't know what what's gonna drop when, so I'm just gonna keep my sweet little mouth shut. And thank you all for having me at the table. It's been a great time.
Hi, I'm Q. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet at Midnight Inc. That's midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. I keep playing cowboys. Tonight I played Mr. Dorian Black. I've got things and also stuff coming up. I will be here tomorrow at 1 o'clock for class reunion. We're joining the cast. Very excited. You can see me on Sunday starting at 7 time. What is time? I don't even know. Over at RPGs Uncovered, we're playing the Starcrier Conflict, which is the Lancer game. Very fun there. On Monday, I should be playing some Magic the Gatherings over on Kurotsuki's channel. Going to be gay, do crimes there. Then Tuesday will be Nephilim. Nothing on this Thursday. I have other things. I have so many things. Just come see me. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. I've been doing this all week. I'm not doing it anymore.
I have so many things. Also, I just realized the new episode of Academy HR Mass Actual Play podcast out this Sunday. Around noon. Check it out. Also, we lost the Audioverse Awards finally.
Oh,
that's a thing. That's a thing. They announced the winner. It's fine. We were just waiting at this point. It's okay. It was nice. It was nice to be nominated. We'll get them next time.
Award-nominated podcast.
Listen, those Crit Awards right around the corner. That's all I'm saying. If you need to nominate a podcast, we got one.
Oh, fuck. I forgot the nominations are up. We got like 11 days to nominate Amber guest starring on the Academy H.
Go nominate Amber guest starring on Academy H.
It's true. Also nominate Body and Soul. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Also nominate Body and Soul. And Live from the Apocalypse. Nominate everything. It's fine.
Nominate
JD,
all your
getting away
friends.
with it. Nominate JD since he hasn't done his intro yet. Outro.
Yeah.
Intro, outro, same thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, I am JD. You can find me on the internet at JD, not Jason Dean. The best thing about getting to go last is everybody's plugged the things I generally need to plug, so you can find me as well tomorrow at 1 o'clock for class reunion, where I will not be playing Hunter. Find out who I will be playing by tuning in. It should be a good time. I will also be with Exquisite Corpse Presents later that evening for Sister Cities, our usually non-magical D&D game that is currently magical because we are in a fantasy world. I'll be back here on Monday for Thy Kingdom Come, where I am playing Jesus. Amber was completely correct. That is exactly who Saint Soren Augustine is, and it is fine that he is gearing up for a murder spree. That's a normal thing to do. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Tune in. Find out in RP. I will be with Lost Caravan on Wednesday for Nova, which is currently using Cypher System instead of Nova, and we are exploring space, and it is going well, and everybody has trauma. I'll be back here on Thursday for Never Ember's Enigma, which is a dating sim that is currently a heist game, and I'm getting my polycule to help me commit this heist, except we're not on the same page. And those are the main things that I have. I will be back here as well next Saturday for the second table to see what they get up to in a third season of Secrets and Shadows. It's going well. There's no relationship drama. Everything's fine. Everything's so fine. 2 of them are in Fairy. 2 of them are trying to exercise a house. So we'll see what they get up to when we reconnect with them. And then we'll see this table in 2 weeks.
Sure will. I do feel like I need to say that Never Ember's Enigma is a game about a dating sim for 3 people and Julia, who is trying to do a heist.
I mean, I don't really think
Just playing
Brindle's
a different game.
flirting. Brindle's just meeting people and like enjoying everyone that he meets. I'm just actively trying to date everyone and not communicating appropriately with my partners, and it's fine.
And that's good polyamory, folks.
Oh boy,
It's going
buddy,
bad.
it's not.
It's not.
I think
I am breaking every
Twitter
rule
showed
of
us that that's not
polyamory.
true.
I
Word
need
on
to
the
watch
street is
Never
that that's not correct.
I need to watch back
Yes.
Never Ender's Enigma so that I can determine if this needs to go on the r/polyamory subreddit.
Well, some people call it Never Ember's Enigma. Other people call it something else.
Please don't. I thought it as soon as I tried to say the words, and I regretted your life and choices.
What did you think?
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
You don't want to say Edward Nigma's member?
Right, that part.
No? You don't want to say that?
You know, I don't.
Well, it's time to raid our friends over at Folk and Myth. On that note.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Is that all the stuff? Is that all the things? Are we good to just raid?
That's all the
I think that's all the
Yeah.
things.
There's social links in the chat. There's a Discord link in the chat. It's a good place full of good people. That's worse than I usually say. It's a great place full of great people. And it still is those things. It hasn't been downgraded or anything. If you're not in the Discord, feel free to join it. It's a great place. We'd love to have you be a part of it. We're going to disappear in just a second, and then we're going to raid our friends over at Folk and Myth who are playing Vampire the Masquerade. So come along, say hi, be friendly. But on that note, say goodnight, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.